Welcome to Buddy Read Adventures. I'm Danielle.
And I'm Stacy, and we are two besties who live across the country from each other who love doing buddy reads together.
We're so glad that you're here to join us on this adventure today. And we are going to be talking about the three first preview chapters for Burn of the Everflame from Penn Cole's website. So if you are enjoying our content, please like, subscribe to follow us for even more.
And this should go without saying, but just so that we're clear, this is spoiler warnings for the entire series thus far. And also know that Danielle and I don't intend to use a lot of profanity in our conversation, but a curse word or two may slip out. Also, these are adult books. We may say adult things, so just be mindful.
And also, while I know all of us are so anxious for Burn of the Everflame's release, let's just have a little bit of patience. So, whatever the reason is that this has kind of been delayed and we still don't have a release date, we should just have patience and respect for the process. We know when we get this book, it is going to be absolutely incredible,
Mhm.
and they are making sure that it is happening. So, we want to make sure that we are being patient and kind in our wait for Burn of the Everflame.
Yes, thank you, Danielle. That's a really important call out to make. And I'm just like noticing what shirt do you have on today?
Oh, so this is my Courbois Phoenix shirt from Feminine and Fabled. So Feminine and Fabled just launched their second collection, which is the Kindred's Curse saga. So definitely go check them out. The first collection release was When the Moon Hatched, and that's an
Mhm.
incredible design as well.
Yeah, it looks so good on you. I love it.
Thanks. I really like it too. And there's lots of different colors you can get it in as well, and many other designs too. So let's jump into Burn of the Everflames preview chapters. So it's just 3 chapters. And know that you can access these chapters if you have not already read them through Penn Cole's website by signing up for her newsletter. So if you haven't yet read these, save this, come back later, go read those, because spoiler warning for everything in the entire series, including these 3 chapters that we have out so far.
Yes, I was very excited to get them, and I had them on my e-reader, and I pulled it up, and it was like POV, like Luther's POV for the first 2 chapters, and I was like, okay, okay, sneaky Pencole, but okay, I like Luther, right? Like it's fine, everything's fine. And then I click on it, and it was like 1 month later, and I was like, I was like, a lot can happen in a month, Cole, excuse me. A lot can happen in a month. I was like, what is going on?
Yes, when I saw that, it scared me a little bit. I was like, no, 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 DM. Where's DM? And we're used to just Luther being in a bonus chapter. So I
Yeah.
wonder if this is going to be more of a dual POV or maybe multi POV. So we're really going to have to see what that leads to. But I'm not saying I did not enjoy some Luther POV time,
Mhm.
but it could be that it wasn't DM's POV, just one to create some more suspense as you're starting to read, but also because whatever DM's doing on Kirill, it might not be that interesting, or she might be unconscious or temporarily unalive, even maybe. So, probably not much to really talk about there, or it's information we as readers aren't ready for.
I did text you immediately as soon as I read the first part of the first chapter, and I was like, I could watch Luther chop wood. Like, absolutely could do that. That's an image I like in my head. It's like, let's just take a moment for Luther chopping wood.
Appreciation, very much
Yeah,
appreciated. So, yeah.
appreciation for sure.
But I am a little scared of what Ophiuchi is doing to descended children. And we learned that kind of at the beginning, that they're killing the adults, but the children are vanishing. So, what is
Mm.
happening to these children that Ophiuchi and his gang are kind of taking, it seems? So, why is he so interested also in Diem, or was he so interested in Diem when Diem was first born? Is it
Mm.
because of children, or is there another reason, being a blood relative? So, not really sure there, but I'm wondering if maybe there is a connection to why he was so insistent when Diem was first born on Kirill, why he wanted her, and now these MIA descended children. If there is that connection. But I also thought it was really interesting because we're really learning a lot about what's going on in the world in like the last month
Mhm.
and presently from Luther and from Orally. And so Orally definitely has someone in her movement getting information on Ophiuchi.
Right.
And who is this? I'm kind of wondering, is this a really important figure or character? Or is it just, a really good lower level spy potentially? So,
Mm.
who is this maybe person that is getting this information on Ophiuchi? And does she have other allies she's working with? Because obviously she's been working with the Arboros
Mhm.
Queen pretty closely, it seems,
Right.
in the last few years. But I'm wondering if there's maybe other people.
Yeah, I'm very curious.
I also want to know why Ophiuchi is leaving Lumnos alone. It seems, the way that it was pointed out, it seems like this is the only realm that is really truly being left alone. However,
Mhm.
Vance is now there, which is very concerning. I'm wondering if Vance went on his own with his followers
Mm.
or whether he was sent by Ophiuchi. So, in that situation, is Ophiuchi really leaving Lumnos alone and is
Yeah.
sending in Vance to start to set up for some sort of action that will happen in Lumnos?
How intentional is this? Is it like making the other realms weaker because it's like, well, should DM get back? Like we want to make sure that like there's no one else who can help her. Like who's to say?
A lot has happened in the last month since Heat. So
Yes.
this has really been helpful to kind of see like what is the immediate kind of aftermath that has been happening. I just loved Teller and Sarai hanging out. Oh, that was just such a fun moment.
Mhm.
I'm wondering if Teller maybe feels closer to Diem just because
Mm.
Sarai is there.
Yeah.
But that was just such a sweet, precious moment. And I loved that we got to see some Teller and see
Mhm.
Teller's intelligence really
Yep.
working at play here and kind of creating and crafting Everflame powder.
On the weapons and like what could they do? The Everroot gonna do to these in terms of like inhibiting other descended having their powers. I did like how they were like, well, let's just try it on you, Luther. And he's like, no. And he's like, okay, maybe I'll think about it.
I really would have a hard time seeing him do it unless it's really necessary because, as he
Right.
mentioned, I need to be ready at any
Hmm.
time. And we saw at the beginning of Heat how long it took for Diem to really get
Yeah.
her powers back. Although, yes, she was getting a lot of very high doses, even more than Orally had
Mm.
said to give her. So we're
Hmm.
just really going to have to see how that plays out. But yeah,
Right.
I was not surprised that he was like, no, you cannot test me at all. I felt so bad for Teller. His
Mm.
mom really using his education to get intel on the
Yeah.
descended. Yes, she did say it is also partially for him. I'm just
Hmm.
trying to, get as much out of the situation as I can. But poor Teller, everything is just beating him down. And we can see that he's really gone from that innocent boyhood experience to really becoming a man who has lost and seen trauma. I just I really hope our favorite brother catches a little bit of a break because he doesn't have Lily, his sister,
I know.
his interactions with his mom. My heart just
We
breaks.
are we are really watching him grow up, and even Luther comments on how, like, "This boy that I met before is now becoming a man, and I'm watching him, like, grow up, or I'm seeing how much more of an adult he is now," and I was like, "Yes, Teller's growing up."
I'm sure we'll see some more even in Bird of the Everflame. What Luther's godhood is really saying to him makes a lot of sense. It's also adding this touch her, and I'm not really sure if that's related to all of the other things that is being said. Is it an Easter egg or is it maybe foreshadowing for something? Is it just maybe lust and the need to touch her to feel that she's safe, things like that?
Mhm.
But we've also never really seen his godhood speak to him. So it could be that this is just something that's always being spoken to him
Mm,
when
right.
he is in conversation with his godhood, so to speak. So it may not be out of the ordinary, but out of the list of things that his godhood is saying, Toucher stood out as, one doesn't fit with the rest quite the same.
Mm,
I also cannot wait to see what Luther is going to do with his illusion magic that he's been practicing on.
mhm.
No, it was so heartwarming though that he used an image from Diem of him to perfect himself and Teller knew it. Like that was
Yeah.
such a great moment there.
It was very, very sweet to have that interaction and for him to be like, "Let me see myself through her eyes. Like, how does she see me?" And to have that moment where we can share that between them.
And Muriel, the Arboros queen, showing up and saying that she has been leaving DM supplies, that kind of made me happy, but also was like, really too little, too late. Like, you're just putting a band-aid on a completely broken dam, essentially.
Yeah.
Is it maybe that DM is leaving the supplies untouched because
Mhm.
dead, temporarily alive, unconscious, or does she just not trust the supplies after what all the crowns did, knowing it has to be a crown bringing it because no one else can get to the island right now?
Mhm.
So that
Mhm.
was a little scary, but I also, if I was DM, I wouldn't trust that at this point, especially since it's only been a month and there's been no interaction with her. There's no reason for her to feel like she's regaining that trust at all. Luther's spinning compass was also really scary for me. Is it because like there's no magic on the island and that's why it's just crazy
Mm.
spinning? Is it because of whatever type of magic she has, she's kind of everywhere maybe? Or is it because she is unalive at the moment or permanently? I'm going to go with temporarily if she is. So that was really
Yeah.
scary, but there are possible explanations for, some more positive results.
And to your point about the food that's being left, as I was reading it, I was like, "Oh, it's like this little gift." I was like, "Okay, maybe we have some hope." And then I was like, "Nope, rug pulled out. Here we go. Okay, back to the beginning, back to before."
You could even see Teller and Luther's reaction to, nope, it's being left untouched when they asked, which was, ooh. I feel like there also has to be a story behind Cordelia's comment. She's your daughter, Orly. You think I don't understand? Me
Mm,
of all people. It seems like because a couple of lines later, there's some additional context that it seems like maybe Cordelia lost a child as well, perhaps a half
mhm.
mortal child. We're really going to have to see where that is, but there's definitely some additional motivation, additional history for Cordelia and her actions that I think will be kind of important because if you drop that early in this book, I think we're going to see that come back or at least learn more about why Cordelia is here and making the decisions that she is.
Foreshadow of some kind or relaying to like there was some history there from before. So who knows how involved Cordelia might have been even in like as DM was like little.
This is also how I felt reading Heat. But as I was reading these preview chapters, they just need to start freaking trusting each other. Everyone
Mm,
is going about and doing their own thing, and it's obviously
mm,
not working, but they're not ready to give up. We may see one individual trust another individual, like Luther trusts Teller, and
mhm.
maybe tentatively orally, but there's really not a lot of trust here. There's even starting to become tensions between Cordelia and Orly. They're going to have to figure it out. They're going to have to start working together, but I just wonder how much more damage is going to be caused because they didn't just stop, pause, look at the bigger picture, and try just to
Mhm,
help each other. Very interested to see the evolution or the continued evolution of Luther and Orly's relationship. It's definitely
mhm.
still tentative, but it's definitely much, much better than it was in Spark of the Everflame and then Heat of the Everflame. So it's definitely getting better, but there definitely is still a lot of room for growth with that relationship. With these first couple of chapters, it doesn't really give us a lot of the answers that we had at the end of Heat of the Everflame. So still a
Mhm,
lot of lingering questions for sure, but it did give us a lot of context as to what is going to be happening, what has been going on initially, and also just create a little bit more excitement and anticipation. Also just so fun to see Luther's POV and get a little bit more of Teller. We didn't have a lot of Teller in Heat of the Everflame. But I
it's true.
really didn't expect these first three chapters to give us a lot of answers. One, because the book isn't out, and two, because
Yeah.
you don't want to give away all the answers in the first couple of chapters, even if it was out. So structurally, I did not expect that, but it was still a really fun read.
Oh, totally. And we knew that Penn was gonna tease us a little bit in a way, and she did such a good job. So I mean, and to have them at all is great. Like to have 3 chapters is still a gift. So thank you, Penn, for your gift.
I'm so excited because in May, Fantasy Fangirls are going to be covering this series with a deep dive. So I'm really intrigued to see and follow along what questions they have. Do they maybe have some theories that we haven't thought about in terms of some of these questions and answers? And also for them just to point out some foreshadowing moments or some little maybe one-liners that are easy to miss in an initial read of a series.
Yes. Oh my gosh. And the fact that it will give us a chance to go back to Spark again and be able to just relive some of those early moments. Like, I'm going to use that as a time personally to like either reread or just enjoy it as a re-experience. So that's also a fun little gift. And now I think it's fun to talk about how so Danielle and I are going to be, taking a little bit of break from what we're going to read here with Buddy Read Adventures, but don't worry, we're going to come back. I think it would be fun to talk about like what we're going to be reading personally, and then we'll get to what we're going to read for our next Buddy Read Adventures book. So, Danielle, what are you going to be reading coming up?
So I have some fun books that I'm going to be reading, and one of them is an arc. It is Shades of Fire, which is the second book. Shades of Power was the first one. Very, very excited for that by Jenny Grimes. But I'm also incredibly excited to go ahead and continue on with the War of Lost Hearts or Daughter of No Worlds
Mm.
series. I read book one back in the fall, loved it. Now I have my hands on books 2 and 3, and I cannot wait to start those. What are you reading, Stacy?
Gosh, that's awesome. So much juicy stuff coming up for you. So I am reading three three books right now. Gotta keep it interesting. I'm listening to as my audiobook right now, First Time Caller by BK Borison, contemporary romance. Loving it. And it's like a radio show. So I thought as an audiobook it would be really fun. And then my ebook is actually written by a fun little author known as Danielle Hartman, coming up your next book. Well, I say next book, your first book, but I'm excited because you're also writing another one, so I consider it your next book. And then and then my third is actually a physical copy from my local library. Shout out to libraries, and it's called The Art of Scandal by Regina Black. Also, just like juicy stuff. So I'm very excited about what I'm reading. We've got a lot coming up.
Yes. And in addition, while we are taking a break from doing a buddy read, we will also be working on some behind the scenes stuff. And so we are very excited to share that. So we will still be working on buddy read adventures, just in a
Yes.
slightly different way. But have no fear, we will return in May.
It's very true. We are going to return in May. We're going to give you some juicy bits in between, so stay tuned. And our next book, which I'm like, thrilled for, it's going to be Real by Kennedy Ryan. I have been really chomping at the bit to read something by Kennedy Ryan for a little bit now. Embarrassed to say that I haven't read anything, but we're going to change that. We're going to change that. We're going to be experiencing Real. I had the pleasure of meeting Kennedy Ryan at Steamy LitCon last summer. That was really fun. And she was just like gem of a human, so sweet, so nice. And so I was really attracted to suggesting this as an option for us because Danielle and I sent each other lists and we like talked about what might be a good book because we were thinking about shifting to a contemporary for this next one. And I was attracted to Real, well, one, because I wanted to read something by Kennedy Ryan, but two, I liked it because it talked about theater. It talks about film. And for those of you who don't know, Danielle and I met in college and we were both studying theater. So I was like, oh my gosh, how perfect. We can like talk about those aspects and interests of our life and kind of pull from where you and I met. So I thought that was a really nice opportunity to showcase that. And I'm just going to take a moment to give a little, like, brief little synopsis of the book so that you know what's coming in May for us. And maybe you'll read along with us. So, Real by Kennedy Ryan is a captivating romance between Neva, a passionate actress, and Cannon, a driven film director, set in the world of Hollywood. Ooh la la. Their electrifying connection navigates ambition, desire, and vulnerability as Neva battles lupus while honoring Black artistry and the Harlem Renaissance. Yes, sign me up.
And this will be my first Kennedy Ryan book as well. So definitely
Yeah.
excited for Real. So go check it out. Follow us for our continued adventures, and hopefully you'll read Real, or if you've already read it, join us to kind of get our thoughts and reactions. And that will be coming in May, which we're so excited about. So again, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more content and to continue following us along. And we're really excited to announce some of these behind the scenes secrets that we are working on as we get closer to our buddy read with Real. You can find me online at Danny Hartman Author on Instagram. So DaniHartmanAuthor. And what about you, Stacy?
I am on Instagram at Smutty with Stacy, SMUTTYWITHSTACEY.
Follow us along, and we'll talk to you soon. Happy reading.
Thanks for listening.